Hi boys and girls, Miss Bishop here. Today I'm going to read you, in honor of our ice day, Rough Weather Ahead for Walter the Farting Dog. And I love this picture. Rough weather ahead for Walter the Farting Dog. He's clinging to a tree. And my favorite, the dedication. For everyone who's ever felt misjudged or misunderstood. Professor Compressor knocked at the door. I understand your dog has a farting disorder. It's not a disorder, said Betty and Billy. Yes, it is, shouted Father. Come on in. Professor Compressor said, I've made a lifelong study of animal gas. He examined Walter, gently poking around his stomach. You'd better be careful, said Father. He farts when you do that. He won't fart at me, will you, Walter? I think he's going to. Walter farted. Professor Compressor staggered backward, waving his gas meter. 10.7! The highest I've ever recorded. What a remarkable animal. Walter was pleased to be called remarkable. He liked Professor Compressor and licked his hand. You're a good dog, Walter, said Professor Compressor, and I'm going to help you. He poked around some more. It's his digestion that causes such powerful farts. We don't mind, said Betty and Billy. Yes, we do, said Mother. Years of research have led me to this special formula, said Professor Compressor. Powders and potions appeared from his pockets. He plugged in a gleaming machine. Mix it in my compressitron and serve it fresh 3 times a day. Oh, we're so grateful, said Mother. So 3 times a day, Mother mixed a special formula in the compressitron. His farts aren't as bad, said Billy hopefully. They're worse than ever, said Father. Your father is right, said Mother. That night, Father decided to mix the formula himself. He examined the powders carefully. Uh-oh. More of this, he decided. Less of this and a lot more of that. Father sniffed the new mixture and smiled. That's better. Tastes pretty good, said Walter to himself, and ate it faithfully every day. It's working, cried Mother. The air smells so fresh. Hooray, said Betty. Walter was pleased too. Everyone was smiling. No one ran away when he came into the room. Father even hugged him. However, inside Walter, oh no, gas was building up slowly. Charlie just walked across the table here. Oh, there's Charlie's paw. That dog is getting fat, said Father. But it wasn't fat. It was farts, waiting to be freed. Professor Compressor's mixture and Father's expert touch were turning Walter into a blimp. Walter began taking strange little bounces when he walked across the room. One evening, he even floated over Father's chair. Great jump, Walter, said Billy. But it wasn't a jump. It was gas. The following evening, Billy and Betty were in their room doing homework. Billy, said Betty, look outside. Billy and Betty raced out of the house. Walter was floating over the trees. Walter, come down, cried Betty, but Walter couldn't come down. He floated on into town. Quite a view, he said to himself. A breeze came up and blew him over to the other end of the town. This is getting serious, thought Walter. He knew the problem was gas. He knew the solution was farting. He squeezed. He pressed his belly with his paws. He twisted into a knot. Nothing. He floated all night long. When morning came, he was high above the world. Mommy, said a little girl, look at that balloon. It's lost, said the little girl's mother. It will never come back. Oh. Walter floated for days. He floated over green hills and blue rivers. He floated over skyscrapers and farms. He floated in the dark and the rain. He felt lonely and cold. He went whichever way the wind carried him. Suddenly the wind grew much stronger and he wasn't alone any longer. The air around him was filled with the flutter of tiny frozen wings. Millions of butterflies were caught in a freezing windstorm. They had been on their way to their winter home when the storm took them by surprise. Poor butterflies, said Walter to himself. The wind was driving them down toward the frozen lake below. I've got to help them, thought Walter. He knew if he had it in him, if he could just get it out. He grunted, he groaned, he pressed, he looked into their tiny insect faces. It's now or never. He let it rip. A blast of warm gas lifted the butterflies out of their dive. It melted ice on their wings. It carried them to the far side of the mountain where the sun was shining. Thank you, Addie. They touched down in the field of wildflowers. A forest ranger in his tower grabbed his two-way radio. I think those butterflies are going to be okay. Out of gas, Walter went down like a rocket. He splashed into a pond and doggy paddled to the shore. He shook himself dry. Then he sniffed the air, turned around, and started the long walk home. He'd gone only a little way when the ranger pulled up in his Jeep. Can I give you a lift, Wonder Dog? Finally, people are being nice to Walter. Somebody sent us a big package, said Mother, looking out the window. It's not a package, cried Billy. It's Walter. See, said Father, I told you he would find his way home. Oh, Walter, said Betty, we're so glad you're back. Not half as glad as we are, said the delivery man. And then on the last page, it doesn't really have words, but it says Wonder Dog saves butterflies. He always ends up saving the day with his flatulence. The end. Okay, boys and girls, have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.